Hello. Let me just mute the game catcher for a second. Hi everyone. Sorry for starting the stream 14 minutes in. Oh jeez, I have something else open. Well, I feel stupid. Oh man, streaming is a little stressful. The game is lots of fun, but the starting of the stream, every time I have issues. Also, every time I listen. My family members, I love them very much, and they're like, "Let's go out," and I'm like, "Okay, cool," but I have something to do at 7. Can we make sure? And I don't know. We just gotta keep adding things, and I just can't say no. You know what I mean? And I can't say even no even more sometimes when they're like, "Oh no, we'll find something for you," and like I'm good, I'm okay, and no, I don't know. It's my own fault. I'm sorry if I'm a little late. Sorry if I started streaming a little late. I'm very thank you for your patience and everything. I haven't eaten yet, so if you hear me just chomping on stuff while I'm on stream, and yeah, I'm hungry, and I didn't because the plan was to get back early enough to chill and eat before I started stream, but that's not what happened. Anyway, thank you for anyone tuning in right now. Um, Thank you again for your patience. So this stream is going to be the Erend stream because last stream I had just finished Seika's route, and now the plan is to try and start Erend's arc, his route. So uh, that'll be lots of fun. Um, I need to return on the game capture music because it's just really loud. But it is very beautiful music. I just need to lower it a little bit. I don't know if that's my headphones. Like, is the music too loud? I don't know. Let me check something. Give me a second. One minute, 1 minute. 1 second. I feel crazy. I'm sorry. Like I said again, like every time, like the very first time I did this stream, the very first time I streamed, everything was good and chill. Now every other time, I'm always in a rush to try and start it on time, which, I mean, it should be fine. It's all right. It's perfectly fine. But yeah, just give me a few seconds here. I need to fix the thing. Okay, there we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, thing is, if I want to mute myself on stream, I constantly have to switch between tabs because I'm doing this on my laptop. This would be nicer if I had like 2 monitors or something. Maybe that's what I should do is like buy a second monitor connected to my laptop. That way I can have Streamlabs on one screen and mute myself however I want, whenever I want, without having to alt tab every single time. You know what I mean? It'd be really much easier. Like streamers who do this, like off of their laptop, because I know there's a lot of streamers who have a whole entire setup, right? They got like their PC and everything. I know Amelie's PC is just really, really old though. She's got like it's just chugging along, which is probably why she has so much scuff. But not a criticism. I just think it's funny. And then there's people like Kingsman, right? Like he's in the Rivals community, but like he does all of it off of his laptop, which is amazing. Like he's probably one of the best magics I've ever seen, and he's playing on controller, running it on his laptop. And Rivals is like the way they like run the game, like NetEase. It's kind of I find it crazy that he's running it at all on his laptop because that thing needs so much power to run. Kind of like Baldur's Gate, which I haven't finished. Honestly, if anyone is here watching it all at this time, if you want to see me do a Baldur's Gate run, I will. I still haven't finished my current run, but I would not be opposed to running it again. I just haven't been streaming more than Saturdays because I remember I streamed the tournament, the rivals tournament a long time ago, but that was like that ended up 7 hours because like there was like I thought I would be knocked out so quick, me and my boyfriend, but we did not get knocked out, and we went the full 5 rounds. So that took 7 hours. I was exhausted. And I was just playing in between while he went off to go do other stuff, real life stuff in between the hours, but I was the one streaming. But yeah. Anyway, I'm just over here chatting and saying things because I like, I don't know. I'm just gonna take a bite of my pizza. Yeah, so as you can see, I do have a run that I started last year for Erend, but I didn't get really far in it. So you can see it there. That's not the one I'm going to start. I'm just going to start a whole new thing with him. So just give me a second. Okay, so I've just been told that I can mute myself using my headset, but I don't think that's true. So, well, I mean, I've tried it before, it's just not worked. So give me a second. Hello? It's still, you can still hear me, can't you? I can see my voice still going. So that didn't work. I don't know why it doesn't work. Like, I have my headset connected and the audio is coming out of my mic, but like for some reason it's just not gonna. It's just not working the way I think it should. So I have to like mute myself. Thank you for letting me know. That was a great tip, but it does not work. I've just tried it before, and I was like, when I saw what you said, I was like, because I know you're watching the stream and you decided to send me a text instead of through the chat. But like, yeah, I can't. I've tried before, but thank you. I was like, for a second there, I thought to myself, wait, am I really that dumb? Did I not try that before? No, I tried that before, but you know what? Let's try it again. Maybe it just decided to hate me in that moment. But no, it doesn't. Yeah, give me. Honestly, if any of y'all are just fine with me just chilling around and eating for a second before we start anything, like, because, like, I don't know, it's weird. Because here, okay, so, like, here's the photo mode, which is super cool, which I went through the first time. Not first time, well, the last time I played this game, which is really pretty. Here's Beta doing two things, a bunch of different things. Here's Seika. Seika's like, oh, I only got one version of Seika, which is her looking kind of like, like, so yeah, that's what you got. Like, I don't know, it's cute. I like it. Well, we haven't gotten Seika at the base yet. I honestly, in the third game, you know what kind of sucks is that Burning Shores is a DLC, right? But it honestly, a lot about it might as well be like part of the main game, considering how important Seika was. Thing is, like, the last time we did a DLC, because like in the first game, right, in the first Horizon game, the DLC was the Frozen Wilds, and we had a couple different characters there that were really cool. One of the only characters that I remember from the DLC coming back in the second game gosh, what was his name? He was an Oseram. I can't remember. My friend P was so excited because he's like, I loved him, and then you see him again in Forbidden West. And I don't remember if they just had him show up again in Burning Shores, but I don't think so. I think you found. Did you find him in Burning Shores? Because he was a side quest. I remember you. I think he was in Forbidden West. So this guy from the DLC, if you had not played for Frozen Wilds, you wouldn't have known who he was at all. Which is what sucks about DLCs. So I'm like over here like, will Seika be a major part of the next game? Honestly, I don't even know if people just skip the DLCs anymore. Like, if you're buying the full game and a DLC comes out, more than likely, if you're a huge fan of the game, you're gonna buy the DLC a lot of the time. But I do have to wonder if there's anyone who's actually skipped the Horizon DLCs. And if so, will they be really confused when honestly Seiko was such a big important part of like Burning Shores and like Aloy's story that it would disappoint me if she wasn't a major part of the main game in the third game. Unless Seika's supposed to be like a first love kind of thing, and Aloy finds other love interests in the third game. Who knows? Because the third game is like all the games have given us this kind of like almost choice system. Actually, did Forbidden West give us the choice system, or did it do away with it altogether? Because they were like, we're not gonna do that. I don't think it did, because it gives us like a choice system, like you would do with like any kind of like Telltale games or like Mass Effect. However, the choices that you make don't actually affect anything. Like, it maybe might affect the dialogue a little bit, but it doesn't actually make a huge difference. Like, in the ending. You know what I mean? The ending is always the same. The dialogue choices don't matter. It's just how you decide to flavor Aloy throughout your playthrough. Which, even if you did make her more, like, more brainy or more tough than heart-wise, a lot of the time, she's just not that at all. You know what I mean? Like, the game, how it characterizes her, doesn't do that. You know what I mean? And it feels kind of dumb to, like, give us the choices if it's not going to affect the game. It's a massive game. You know what I mean? It's hard enough to put that kind of stuff into it if that's something that you want to do. And not only that, like, if they put a romance in the game, which they kind of did with the DLC, like, is she going to be given choices or options between who she wants? Which also, I'm pretty sure the game has made it kind of clear that Aloy, like Elizabeth Sobek, is a lesbian. Like, I don't know if she, like, thing is, she's not expressed any, and I mean any, romantic interest in anyone from the jump of the game. Like, the only time she had any romantic interest was in Seika, and I don't know if that implies or actually lets you know if she is straight up just a lesbian. Because Elizabeth has was hinted at having a relationship with like Tilda. Well, not hinted. Like it's full text. It's full text, not subtext, that they were together. But Elizabeth isn't shown to have had any other romantic relationships with anyone either. So I think it's just pretty clear Aloy is a lesbian, at least in the canon of the game. Anyway, I still haven't even started playing. I'm just over here speculating about stuff because I like doing that. You know? I took another bite of my pizza. So sorry. My mouth is full when I say this. The hour is early, but the work has already begun. The far zenith threat to Earth was eradicated 3 months ago. It's hard to believe that's all it's been. 3 months. 3 moon cycles since Aloy faced a Horus head on. Just 3 months as she overcame the most impossible of odds and brought it down. Though she can't say she did it alone. I mean, for anyone who's not already seen it, I don't know if I want to skip this. I don't want to actually skip it, though. I know it's a lot of text before the start of the game. But, like, I kind of don't want to skip it because it's so pretty. Look at the snow effects, the beautiful backgrounds of the outside of the base, the area that Zoe kind of created. Oh my gosh. And you can see, like, in the distance, Varl's grave, which is beautiful. Give me a second. Okay, chewing again, sorry. 3 months since, well, since our heart decided to make room for another. But 3 months is a long time, especially without contact. At least Aloy has plenty with which to keep her busy. As enough time has passed by now that the events of the burning shores feel more and more like a dream. As if she's done little else but throw herself into research in the base. Of course, that isn't entirely by choice. But Aloy still doesn't like to think about that. Surprise, surprise. See, that's what I thought too. That's why I don't want to skip it. Because I'm like, if someone starts with me on this route, which I'm very sorry, it took me like straight up a couple different minutes, take me 10, like 15 minutes to start the stream. And then it's taking me like a longer time to just even get into it. But yeah, no, I agree. I fully agree. That's I want to. If someone starts with this part of the stream, I want them to get the first part of it too. Look at all this beautiful art. Look at the inside of the base. The interaction between Aloy and her sister is also very very fun. So, with Beta's help, they've scoured the data left behind by Laundra before his untimely demise, and Aloy has made sure to share any discovery within her network. Silence, for all his indifference and arrogance, is at least making himself useful, and finally seems to be sharing his own discoveries rather than hoarding them for his own needs. Oh my gosh, the moment between Silence and Aloy at the end of the game is very emotional because, like, Aloy's just like, oh, okay, yeah, you're in it for your own means. And Silence finally decides to open up and be vulnerable and tell Aloy that he can't do it alone. He may be smart, but he can't. This is the one time he can think that he needs help. And he doesn't say he needs help, but kind of more or less says it. And Aloy's like, oh, huh. Because, like, Silence and Aloy, despite Aloy kind of not liking Silence because he's very self-serving, whereas Aloy is very selfish, selfless, um the two of them were actually very similar in the sense that they were just so closed off, not allowing any like for any connection or asking for any help. So by the end of the game of, like, Forbidden West and after Burning Shores, at the end of all that, Aloy's just like, if I could change and I could open up and be vulnerable, why can't you? Like, she kind of just resents it. And when he opens up, she appreciates it because I don't know, I love it. Rest in peace, Lance Riddick. You will be missed. You were a wonderful actor and voice, and he was a cool guy. I wonder what they're gonna do for the third game. More than likely, probably find a different actor, but I don't know if anyone could do his. I don't know. He has such a distinctive voice. Anyhow, continuing on. Aloy's eyes roam over one such data packet, searching for any hint towards a weapon that could be useful against Nemesis. So far, nothing. Sometimes it feels as hopeless as her search for a Gaia kernel, but she has to remember that she found one, that she succeeded, and she can do it again. Gosh. It only cost her a close brush with death, right? So did the data that kept her base bound for 8 solid weeks, but she throws that thought out of her mind as soon as it appears. Aloy presses on. She can't help but feel like they're close, so close to finding a solution, and it makes it even harder to stop. Aloy, why don't we take a break from this today? We can try again later. Aloy shakes her head. Beta can take a break if she wants, but she needs to keep going. Come on, we've been at this for 4 days. For days, you need to give yourself a rest. Like she didn't spend 2 months doing that. Still, now that she mentions it, her lips tighten as she stares at a file on her focus, but her eyes are glazed, unseeing. Clearly as tired as her sister, but pushing through. She opens another file on the focus and scrolls. Something about a Christmas party? Xavier being mad that Jolene didn't kiss him under the mistletoe. Useless after useless after useless. Take a break, Aloy. I know you barely slept last night. Let's get something to eat. As if on cue, Aloy's stomach growls. Her own body betraying her and siding with her sister. Nice. With a sigh, Aloy swipes the data closed and pulls back. Beta is begrudgingly right. She does need a break. She rubs her temples, knowing she could have slept in just a little longer this morning. The sun is barely out, and she needs to take care of herself before she can take another crack at it. It's hard to believe she's found nothing useful in the past 3 months. Every clue she and Silence followed has led to dead ends. Even their biggest lead of finding Apollo on the Odyssey is on hold. The demise of the Cenids led their AI, the Julius, going into lockdown they haven't been able to hack yet. So even Silence couldn't have fled on it if he had chosen to. The image of him finding that out is secretly gratifying, though. If she's being honest with herself, it's all a distraction anyway. Not from the burning shores and her bittersweet goodbye, or the sudden space in her heart that secretly wants, but from the 2 weeks after. From San Diego. From the horror she encountered in the depths. From the way her diving mask cracked and she barely made it to the surface before Shirley would have drowned. From the way Silence had to haul her and her useless broken leg onto his raft and get to her sunwing. From Aloy? What's that? I asked if you wanted peccary bacon with your eggs. That's fine. Beta stares at her for a moment, clearly unimpressed. When Aloy matches her gaze, she finally relents. Okay, you know what I didn't notice? They have almost the exact same expression. Like, except Aloy just has her eyebrow down. I love how... I know, they're both clones. They look exactly the same, but I love that little quirk that they're kind of just making the very same unimpressed, like, gaze. Like, you meant it when you said Aloy matches her gaze. That's so fun. You were thinking about it again, huh? No use in denying it. Aloy sighs through her nose and looks away. She doesn't remember a lot about her first few days back at the base after the disastrous trip to the far south, but she does remember screaming when Beta set her leg, with Silence holding her down. You would think they would find a way to like do some pain management. You know what I mean? Zoe's here. I mean, it's still gonna hurt. Does Zoe not have any like kind of like medicines or anything like that? A potion that for the pain? Holy hell! She remembers waking up in a cold sweat, night after night, the image of a gaping crimson maw in a sea of black water fading from her mind. You know you can talk about what happened. It could help you. I'm fine. I'm just saying, you can tell me. Maybe you'll feel better? Maybe. Or maybe it's just reliving nightmares and feeling worse than she already does. A tutorial! I don't need this, but however, I shall read it nonetheless. During the course of your chosen path, Aloy will be presented with opportunities to choose how to interact with her companion. One of the choices will demonstrate their connection to each other and deepen their bond. One will carry on their friendship. One may cause Aloy to lose her companion, maybe even forever. The choices are not mocked, but each answer is weighed to bring you to the most appropriate ending based on your score. It's up to you, the player, to use your own knowledge of Aloy and each companion to decide on the best path, so choose wisely. Listen, I'm gonna go through different decisions here. It's probably not gonna affect the end of the game or anything like that because I remember being told last time that I played, because when you reached the end with Seika, I wondered if the machine that attacked Aloy was going to have any kind of, like, effect, or have, like, a smaller side story later. It doesn't, so I don't think my decision here will affect Aloy's relationship with Beta. And also, I don't actually remember what I said to her the last time, so I'm just gonna choose whatever. So I'm gonna just go with, no, I won't. No, Beta, that's not gonna happen. Oh, okay. Okay, now I feel bad. Let's just drop it. You relax a bit then. I'll get us breakfast. Despite everything, Aloy still finds her mind going back to that night. Okay, one sec. I'm gonna take another bite of my food. I'm just holding it. That's all I'm doing. Okay, I'm chewing again, so 1 second. While peace talks were happening in Meridian, between the Karja and the Tanakh, Aloy and Silence journeyed far south, beyond even the burning shores, to the completely underwater ruins of a place called San Diego. Silence stayed on a raft, and Aloy descended into what was once an aquarium, and marveled at what she saw. It was called San Diego. I wonder what language that was. I'm being stupid. I know. I wonder, if in the future will, things be preserved. I know, this is, the post-apocalypse, honestly. So a lot of knowledge was lost, and as well as languages. Which is always a question I've had about Horizon, is how the fuck Aloy reads anything. Because on the Focus, there is just the language that everyone spoke then. And then, you would think, did they consolidate it? Did it translate the language for her? Because I imagine the tribe, each tribe created their own language. So it's always been funny to me that everyone can speak to each other and just be fully understood. Her going to the Carja, I'm surprised they didn't have a different language. But I know that would be difficult to play off in a game, for one, and for two, it just comes off as D&DS to me. Everyone speaks Common. What's Common? It's just the main language everyone speaks. Do humans speak any other language other than Common? D&D doesn't go into it. It's never something that's huge that people go into. I think the only time I've ever seen it happen, maybe I need to expand what I do with my live action D&D podcast, because I've only ever seen Critical Role do something where someone speaks a different language, with Zemian with Caleb Rigas, Zemian being German, of course, but I don't know. Anyway, I've always wondered about that. I know it's not logistically a cool or fun thing to be hey, what language is this? If they have a new one, we're not inventing a whole conlang here. Or multiple, for that fact. No one's speaking Klingon. We're not doing, what was the conlangs that was invented for, Game of Thrones? Because Game of Thrones also had their own conlangs, I believe. Not multiple. Lord of the Rings has multiple. It has at least two. Kuzdoodle, I'm not pronouncing it right, and Familiar? It's the Elvish language. But actually, no, there's three, because there's two different versions of the Elvish language, isn't there? There's two different dialects, or two different, whole, complete different languages? I don't remember. I just know J.R. Tolkien loved to do that shit, the nerd. Anyway, while peace talks were happening in Meridian, yeah, they followed us to San Diego. Yeah, and I read this already. Okay, yeah. Once the oceans teemed with life, bigger and brighter than anything Aloy thought possible. As she swam into a crumbling hollow activated above her head of something called a blue whale, once the largest animal on the planet. Her awe was cut short on the way out by a metal tentacle slicing through the hollow and nearly missing her. As someone I know likes to say, she's in the wrong anime. I'm sorry. With no way to fight the mysterious new machine so deeply underwater, Aloy swam for her life. She managed to get away, to sneak into a space too small for the machine to reach, but not before. Not before horror she doesn't ever want to revisit. Not before pain and fear like she never felt before. She fled to the... I don't know why I'm doing voices. Just bear with me. She fled to the surface, her right leg fractured cleanly between knee and ankle. At least it was a clean break. It would have been awful if it was fractured and just, it was, shattered. Her diving mask cracked and leaking, then threatening to drown her. Silence had to drag her onto the raft, then onto the Sunwing, and fly her to the base himself. Go Silence. Aloy can't even say why this fight is sticking with her so much, but she suppresses it for another day, focusing instead on the upcoming breakfast with her sister. Food that I haven't finished yet. Anyway, so I've been thinking, maybe today might be good for learning how to ride a charger? Really? Yeah? Aloy smiles, grateful for her sister's attempt at a distraction. It's pretty clear that Beta doesn't really want to do that at all, and only said so for Aloy's benefit. Still, she nods her head. The smell of cooking food reminds her that she actually is hungry. It keeps her focused on I can't breathe. On the present instead of slipping back into the past. It's far too easy to do that when she's quite cooped up. I'm sorry, let me chew. I'm like going over my food. Okay, done chewing with that one. Ugh. The splint finally came off her leg 2 weeks ago, and since then, Aloy has done what she can to get herself back into shape. But it hasn't been easy. Oh my god. She's already fit as fuck, and I'm already struggling trying to like keep myself in shape. Honestly, I need to stretch more. I played too many video games this week and my hands feel a little stiff. You would think I would stream at that time, but I always just don't do it. Why is the top of my water bottle kind of hot? It's like I put it next to the freaking laptop. That's why the freaking heat coming off of it made it really warm. All right. Since then, Ayla has done what she can to get herself back into shape, but it hasn't been easy. For 8 weeks, she could do nothing but think. Think about the future, think about the burning shores and what that meant to her. Think about the people she's come to know and care for. But what she wants is to feel like herself again. And she's itching to get out and do something meaningful. Hunting machines, a race in the desert, and even a challenge at the arena in the Grove did little to quench her wanderlust. And as chance would have it, such an opportunity presents itself as Gaia's voice trickles through the base's intercoms. Aloy, I hope you are feeling well rested this morning. Better than yesterday, Gaia. Thanks. Just trying to find some answers. Is everything alright? I am receiving a transmission that I believe will be of interest to you, if you have the time to devote to it. It should probably worry Aloy how quickly her heart leaps into her throat at the idea of doing something different and getting out of the base, but she chooses to brush that aside. Still, she can't hide her grin. Yeah, Gaia, of course. Give it to me. Hit me. Hey! So last time we went through every character on my very first stream. So I still have the VOD on here. I really should get them up on my YouTube channel soon because I created a YouTube channel just for this. But I just haven't done it yet. And I also just want to draw another icon of my character. I don't really use a VTuber, but I'd rather use like a character as my face that I made. But of course, as I said last time, we've already done Seika, who is our sweet Kren Marine. If anyone's played The Burning Shores, you know who she is. The art here is beautiful, and we did do her round, and it ended beautifully. However, that's not who we're gonna choose. This time, we're going with Erend. So, a loyal and friendly Oseram who hails from the Claim, Erend made his home in Meridian after the Liberation, becoming part of the Sun King Avad's vanguard, along with the rest of the freebooters. Erend first meets Aloy in the Sacred Lands as an envoy for Avad's diplomatic efforts with the Nora. Their paths cross again in the Meridian, and though Aloy does what she can to help, he tragically loses his sister Ursa and must step into her place as captain. Erend and the Vanguard assist Aloy at the Battle of the Elite. The two are later reunited in the Dawn, but an injury confines Erend to the barren light while Aloy pushes deeper into the Forbidden West. When summoned by Varl to join her cause, however, he rushes to her side, stepping fully into her world and providing crucial support to the team in their fight against the Zeniths. Erend has been at Aloy's side since the beginning, and a close bond has developed between them as a result. Again, I keep mentioning it, but again, like the first time she met Erend again in Forbidden West, the way Aloy's face lit up is what sold this as a ship for me. Like, cause like she clearly like adores him, And also, when they meet again, Erend's freebooters behind him like start teasing him about his huge, massive crush on her. The quote that he put, like that he said, is that what once upon a time I thought I was just flirting with a pretty girl and in a backwater town at the end of the world, but in reality, I was just lucky to have a moment of your time. Because Aloy turned out to be just exceptional, an incredible person, and Erend was like, I thought I was just talking to a pretty girl, and honestly, I was the one who was lucky to talk to you at all, and that's just kind of defined, I think, their relationship in his eyes for them. I don't know how it went after the fact. Um, I kind of wish he was a bigger part of Forbidden West than he was, because he did get an injury and they kind of just took him out for that reason alone. And again, I do actually really think that the game is very much telling us Aloy's a lesbian. Aloy's a lesbian. She would not be interested in Erend even if that was a possibility. I do kind of like it when I see stuff like, and while that makes me a little sad, I'm okay with it not being a thing, and I'm actually really happy to have Aloy as a lesbian. Um, and also, like, as a fellow bi, as a fellow part of the, as the kids say, alphabet mafia. So it's so cringe to say it, but you know what? I'm cringe. I'm free. It is like super fun to have Aloy just not be interested. I forget what webcomic I was reading. No. I know the name of it. What is it called? The Witch's Door? It's by It's by this one person on Tumblr that I'm forgetting their name. I will find it and show you it like at the end of this, just so you can see what I'm talking about. Because the webcomic The Witch's Door, which I need to catch up on, I haven't caught up on it. There's a character in the comic, and the main character of it, he's Arrow Ace, and there's another character that has like a huge crush on him, and he has to just be like, oh, yeah, sorry, I'm not interested. Which I know Aloy isn't like Arrow Ace, but it is one of those instances of like, hi, sorry, rejection. Like, you have a massive crush, and I don't think the crush is gonna go away, but I'm not gonna bother you with my crush because I just got rejected, and so I just have to live with that. And Erend, I think, is just kind of like that version. He's deeply in love with Aloy, and I don't think he'll ever stop being fully in love with Aloy. And I kind of like the idea of that. But he also just knows that it would never happen between them because Aloy would just never be interested. Which I don't know if the third game, if it does give us any romantic options, which I fully doubt it won't. If it does do that, I really don't think that it would be any way of a consequence that they would be like together. You know what I mean? But honestly, this fan game lets me live out that fantasy, and for that, I fully like am like indebted. Like, thank you so much for creating this game because it lets me fulfill my little fan fiction heart of like shipping Erend with Aloy. Because like, you know what, it doesn't gotta be canon for you to enjoy it, and I'm into it and I love it, and I get why people are always like, well, like if it's this sexuality and you're like erasing it. I get it, I really do, especially with Arrow Ace characters. Like when people ship Arrow Ace characters in like at least in the sexual manner at all, it can be like disappointing. I'm off on a tangent now. I'm fully off on a tangent instead of playing the game. But like I ramble. I ramble. And I fully get that. Fandom also like, and there's reasons. There's absolutely reasons, and people probably should examine certain reasons why certain things that they do or thing. Like, I'm not gonna get into fandom. Maybe another day I'll get into fandom because there's like certain things. Because like there's all the culture about like no curses, but sometimes there's particular aspects that maybe you do need to examine and does need to be like criticized. I know it's like a source of escapism for you, but like, is it only escapism for a certain set of people, or you know? Anyway, continuing on. I got on a full tangent. Anyway, I love Erend. Him and his sister was very sad, and this is the route that we're choosing today. So for now we're gonna select Erend. I'm so excited. Next time I think I might do Talana, but now is or Katala or Petra. I'm gonna flip a coin. I'll probably flip a coin for the three of them. No, no, I'm doing Talana after this. I'm not flipping any coins. It is from Erend. He has discovered a device in Meridian that he believes may be pertinent to the mission. What kind of data would be in Meridian? As you may recall, I set up an alert on the focuses of your companions to notify them when they are within range of an old world data. Let me reread that. As you may recall, I set up an alert on the focuses of your companions to notify them when they are within range of old world data. Erend encountered a device being sold as scrap that triggered the alert. When he scanned it, he discovered corrupted schematics that appeared to belong to Metallurgic. Oh no! It's my cat again. But it's the fat one this time. Naranjita! Naranja! Hey, hey. Yes? Okay, so really? You pushed the door open and now you want to leave? You just needed to push my door open so it's like completely wide open? That's what you wanted? I love her. I love her so much. Give me a second. I had to go close the door because I had it like slightly open and now she threw it the whole way. 1 second. Okay, okay. Thank you for your patience. I'm right back. I took another bite of my food. I just went to close the door, but then my cat started screaming at me. She's very fat and cute, but she also is very much I don't know. Like she can go the whole day demanding no affection from me, but the moment I go do something, anything, I could be like asking her, "Do you want affection? Do you want me to comb you? Do you, and like and then nothing. But then when I go do something and she says that I'm like engrossed in something, she'll immediately come over and start screaming at me. I have to say, pay attention to me instead. I love her so much, but she's very funny. Sorry for the chewing. One of the companies mentioned on Launder's implant? That's strange. It's worth checking out. This schematics could be related to the tech Launder thought he might find there. Oh, are you finally clearing me for field work? Her face. Do I have a choice? I still think another week of rest could do you some good, but another day of being cooped up might drive you mad, so I'll guess I'll pick my battles. You're not wrong. I'm honestly impressed you made it as long as you did. You and me both. Gaia, can you send over Erend's coordinates? You will be able to track his live location with the indicator I have placed on your map. I will let him know you're on your way. Travel safely, Aloy. Curious as to what could be going on and why she is receiving this signal, Aloy makes ready to leave. She grabs some supplies and debates over a change of armor, her pulse already racing. Even more curious is how Aloy feels herself looking forward to it, in a way that feels almost... Be careful out there, Aloy. Always am, Beta. Uh-huh. I do love Beta just being kind of snarky with her. It's very different to how she is in the game because Beta's so meek. And seeing her act this way with Ayla, like Ayla does give them more of a sibling dynamic, but it also just kind of shows you how comfortable Beta has grown in Ayla's presence and how well they have like grown to appreciate each other, which I really love and love to see, and I hope we see in the third game. Because she has a sister now. They're sisters now, and they're also completely different. I forget what other. There's a show called Orphan Black. I never finished it, but it is one of those shows where the main character has like a bunch of different clones, but every clone is completely different from other because of just the circumstances that they went through, which is super fun because that's just kind of how things work. Like a different body is a different person. I don't know. The ethics are very weird. Like, I'm going on another tangent, but like, wasn't there like a cat as someone who like had their cat cloned? I feel like it was like a rag doll, and I think she like asked a company to clone her cat, and she got the clone cat, but then she I guess got mad because the cat was nothing like the cat that got cloned. Like the cat had a completely different personality. Which there's something to be said, like your vessel just because it looks the same isn't going to occupy the same person. I don't know. Let's not get into that. That's gonna get a little too like we're gonna get a little too philosophical with that. Let's just go romance my boy Erend. It's time to fly. Ooh, the little heart. Focus on the heart. We're barely starting. It's like been 30 minutes. We're barely starting the route. Actually, no. It's been an hour. Really? Already? Jeez. Ailey urges her sunwing into the air, closing her eyes in pleasure at the sensation of wind rushing over her face. She has missed this more than anything, rising high above the world, sun soaking into her skin as her body tenses and sways at the movements of the machine. I'm getting better at reading this. This is the second time I've done this, and I realize that I'm like reciting the lines over just very smoothly. That's what familiarity does for you. It's super great. I love it. It's exciting, and she's had little to be excited about in the time she has spent trapped in the base. I'm still chewing, so I'm sorry. It's so cute! Oh my god, so this is the art by Bobaloof. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name of the artist. They're on Tumblr, and I know that they're a huge, like, Aloy Erend shipper. I follow them, and I've seen their art, and it's very cute and very good. I'm like, look at her freckles! I kind of like how you drew her hair. Like, look at the swirlies. Look at the swirlies. Look at that. I kind of love that. That's a nice little touch. And she's just like she's very cute. Oh, is that like a scar right there on her neck? That's a nice touch. And she's wearing her Oseram outfit. Oh wait, no! I skipped the lines. Wait, did I read that? No. 1 second. Let me go back. What was the... Okay. I read that one. She's ready. It's exciting, and she's had little... Yeah. The time has helped with one thing, at least. The pang she used to feel whenever Seika crossed her mind is just about gone. She can think back to her time in the burning shores without regret now. The dull, what if, ache in her heart long faded. More and more she feels like the ill timing of their meeting was for the best. Ailey wouldn't trade the experience with the feisty Quen woman for anything, but picturing a real future with her? With anyone, really? It still feels impossible. Honestly, the first time it kind of feel like really weird. Like, not weird, but like you can feel strange when doing like a first relationship. When you're like, can I do this? Am I able to do this? Can I go further than this? And sometimes, yeah, you can. It just takes time for you to get used to the idea and the person a little bit. I don't know. I gotta relate to it, and Aloy just makes me remember how that, like, the jitters of that first, like, interaction with that kind of feels. Ah, she's so cute. The prospect of seeing Erend is heartening, at least. For a moment, she tries to understand why she's barely talked to him over the last couple of months. It isn't like she hasn't gotten the urge to. She has, frequently. Oh, oh yes. I'm sorry. Let me just gush over this. Look at her blush. They listen. Okay, so in the game, at least in Forbidden West, when she kind of blushed with like Seika, I remember her whole face blushing with it, right? And I don't remember the Seika route when she blushed had her face completely go red. Um, which isn't a knock against the artist. That's not a knock at all. The art was beautiful. I'm just going here and trying to appreciate how you can see the flush of red on her forehead too. I kind of adore that because she's kind of pale. She's so cute. I gotta love it. But each time they spoke, she was careful to keep things brief. No matter how much she craved the comfort of her oldest friend, she always said too much. It could lead to questions she isn't ready to answer. Oh, I honestly should do another playthrough like Forbidden West on this channel. I still am playing New Game Plus of Horizon, the first Horizon, which I'm like halfway through. I didn't start the playthrough on the channel. I was midway through and decided to stream that. So I really just want to like replay Forbidden West and do that on the channel. Aloy is eager to see him though. After so long knowing exactly where to find him, she's realizing how much she missed his solid, unwavering presence. Her world is in a state of constant flux, but Erend has been one of the few people she's always been able to rely on. Right? That thought fills her with warm, pleasant feelings, familiar feelings, but something in her shies away from examining them too closely. See, now Erend and like Aloy are one of those relationships that, in my mind, regardless if it's platonic or romantic, is always just going to be a constant presence. Erend is there for Aloy, and Aloy is there for Erend, and it's just always going to be that way. You know what I mean? I don't think of them as siblings or anything like that. I don't think I would go there. Because I know Avad saw Aloy kind of like Ursa. But, you know, considering Erend's feelings for Aloy, that's definitely not what that is. The man just loves a strong woman. um, Again, I just truly think Erend will just always love Aloy. Regardless if she ever returns his feelings or not. It's just, he's just gonna be there for her. And also, she loves him deeply in return. And that's just always going to be a truth. And I love that. I love it so much. I think this is great. It's midday by the time she can make out the city's lofty minarets on the horizon. Her heart swells, and she feels more cheerful than she has in months. But she's been so desperate to return to action, to actually be of use again. It almost seems surreal that she finally can. Ooh, 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 it's Meridian. Look at the flags. Look at the flags in the background. Ooh, she's so cute. I love this. It's so cute. Wait. I just noticed something. Do you see this? Do you all see that? There's little is I don't that's not highlights, is it? Or is that paint? Aloy, did you dye the ends of your hair? I kind of like that. I like the little bits of blue there. That might just be lighting though, because I see little similar bits of blue over here. Nah, it's just lighting. It's just lighting. Cause it's like it's on the ends of her hair over here too. Ah, no, I just noticed that. I'm like, no, it's just highlights. It's just like it's not her dyeing her hair. Honestly, I wonder if they could make that option in the third game. Just like the ability to like, because I know you can change outfits, but if you could just change her cosmetics just a little bit, like give her like blue ends, that'd be fun. Even from the air, Aloy can easily spot Erend waiting at the mouth of the Meridian Bridge. She would know those white and yellow stripes anywhere. She circles her sunwing, landing a safe distance away. He raises her arm, his an arm to greet her, and she happily waves back, trying to master the wild grin that wants to burst across her face. Okay, maybe I might be a little biased. I do love Erend. Is it? Does it feel like I I like him more than Seika? We've had him for longer. I'm sorry. Like Seika's cute, and I do like Seika, but we only have a whole DLC of her, and I feel like if I, you know what, maybe I just need to play the DLC more because she is super cute. I love her. The playthrough of her was actually fantastic, and I just love thinking about Seika and how that relationship would turn out with Aloy and the complications with it. I want to see the consequences. I want to see the not like the consequences, but like the fallout of like everything with how the Quen treat Seika and how that kind of goes into everything. Like I love that. I mean, also I wonder what different tribes there are because like the first game hinted at the Otaru in one of the side quests. The the one that you do for the priest where you go like clear like three different places for mourners to go and mourn their dead, and one of them was for Notaru woman, which I think was the one that made me the saddest. Um, but like we already had hints to the other tribes in the first game. I don't know if that was just something added later, but there was an Notaru woman. I don't know if there was anything hinted about the Tanakh in the first game, but the Otaru were hinted at, and I don't know if the Quen were hinted at. But the Otaru definitely was something I think they already planned. Again, I keep going on tangents. Listen, this is just who I am. I ramble. So thank you very much for listening to my rambling. Ailey hops down from the sunwing, walking towards him at a measured pace that feels far too slow. Hey, Erend! Oh, he's so cute. Look at him. How are you, big man? When she finally reaches him, he throws his arms open and she doesn't allow herself time to second guess. She moves easily into the hug, eyes fluttering closed as he gives her a hearty squeeze. Squeeze. Squeeze? It feels so right somehow. I yeah, right. I love big bear hugs. Like if I had more strength when I hug people, I would definitely break them in half if I if I could. I would have to watch my strength. I do not have more strength. I can't. I'm tiny, so I'm I can't bear hug anyone too bad. He's warm and big, and she's caught off guard by how comforted she is by the embrace. Like I honestly I would be too. She can't help but notice that he smells good, like clean leather and spice carja soap. Hmm. Now I want that as a soap. Like leather and like spices. That'd be a nice soap. Like some of my favorite candles tend to be like I like citrus a lot, but I like some of those candles that kind of smell like spiced baked goods are really nice. I remember going to Bed Bath and Beyond not too long ago and found like this. It wasn't necessarily the warmest scent, but it was like I think like a wine scent, but it was actually very warm smelling, and those are the kind of scents that I really love. And so that's maybe I should learn how to make soap and make the soap. She really has missed him. Oh. It's over too quickly, though. He releases her with a happy sigh, and immediately Aloy misses his warmth. There's a strange effervescence in her stomach. I'm sorry, I'm gonna do a thing really quick. 1 second. I'm gonna do a thing real quick. 1 second. I'm like, I'm not done. Let's just give me a second. I'm cooking. I'm cooking. I'm good. It's fine. I'm doing a thing. It's fine. 1 second. Just I forget how to like show another screen, but give me a second. I don't know how to add it. I know what I'm doing. Give me a second. I know we're doing a little side quest right now. We're doing a small little side quest, and I'll figure it out in a second. And for anyone who's in the know, you probably already know what I'm doing. So give me a second. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah. Effervescence. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll take it off now. Alright. I'm sorry. It's the Twilight meme. No, don't be mad at me. Why are you mad at me? No. I was trying to just show the thing. Like I just straight up effervescent. Like saw a snail today. Effervescent. Anyway. That was worth it. That was completely worth it to me. Also, wait, I forget how effervescent, like, what the word means. Let me look that up. Like, it's supposed to mean like awe, like you're in awe of something, right? I'm looking it up. Give me a second. I need to. I can't remember what it even means. Like, I swear to God, like the I don't even know how this meme started. Like the effervescent meme, like effervescent. Like EFFRE or RVEN. No, there's no NS. Effervescent. Effervescent. No, don't give me anything about the the news right now. Got a news notification. I'll read that later, maybe. I should. I should read it later. I need to be a responsible adult. Anyway, effervescent. Adjective. Okay, I'm gonna put this on screen. Give me a second. We can all learn what this word means right now. Like, give me a second. we are doing we're doing an English class like lesson right now. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing today. Is that okay? Give me a second. I have to do the thing again. We're still on the side quest, guys. We're still on the side quest. We're absolutely still on the side quest. Like here it is. Here's the definition. I don't know if you can see that clearly or not. Like, okay, so quick lesson in effervescent. It's an adjective, and it says gently boiling or bubbling by means of the disengagement of gas. Okay, so like she's got gas, or it means giving off bubbles or fizzy. Okay, like it can make it kind of be like a nice. It is actually a nice word for like describing butterflies, huh? Like I got bubbles. I feel kind of fizzy. Used of wines and waters. I skipped the definition. Vivacious, enthusiastic. So vivacious usually just means like very full of energy. Enthusiastic also means the same thing. Kind of similar. Like you're like, woo, you know? So, and then the fourth one is used of wines and waters charged naturally, artificially with carbon dioxide. Sparkling water. I got some effervescent sparkling water right here. Marked by high spirits or excitement, a row of sparkly cheerleaders, or of a liquid giving off bubbles. Wait, why does that apply to a snail? Why does that apply to a snail? Why does that ever apply? Click, clackety, clack, clack. Bing. Saw a snail today. Effervescent. It makes me feel fizzy and bubbly. I feel like I got butterflies in my stomach. Okay, back on track. Back on track. I've had my fun. I've had my fun. I don't know if that actually switched the windows. Did you see when I switched the windows at all? Because I went to the meme again. Did I even do that? I wasn't checking. Actually, no, we're not done yet. We're not done yet with the side quest. Give me a second. Because I don't know if you saw it or not. I lost every person on because of this. Like, did I lose everyone for this single joke? It'd be funny if I did. I'm so sorry. This is no, it doesn't switch anything, I don't think. Hilariously. That's so fun. Oh, it does switch things. I just realized that. Alright, so we're done. We're done with the side quest. We're going back on track. Let me just get rid of the window capture. I've learned things. I learned how to do things. I know how to do things now. Isn't that fun? I know how to. I'm so dumb. But yes, we've learned how to do things. But back on track now. It's over too quickly though. He releases her with a happy sigh, and immediately, there's a strange effervescence in her stomach. That's cute. She's even touching her stomach as this line is happening. That's actually a cute little detail. Look at that. By the forge, Aloy, you are a sight for sore eyes. Should I try to do a deep voice? You're not so bad yourself. It's good to see you, Erend. You look, healthy. I mean, yeah, well, still laying off the ale, eating more greens. So ruined me. But hey, it's good to see you too, Aloy. It's been weird to feel so out of the loop with everything. Trust me, I know the feeling. So tell me about this device you found. Where'd you find it? Now slow down there, Aloy. I'm not investigating anything on an empty stomach, and I know for a fact you can't say no to your favorite food. It's open again? You think I gave Londi the choice? Helped him raise the shards for a new stand myself. Wasn't his fault the Deathbringer had it in for the best pork bun stand this side of the claim. Okay, fine. Lunch first, then we talk about the device. Together they proceed to the city. It's bustling as usual, bursting with noise and color, much closer to the meridian she remembers before the Battle of the Elite. Also, pork buns? I know I just ate, but that sounds delicious. Lodiv, you have another customer. As they go, Erend pulls the device out of a pouch at his belt and hands it to Aloy, explaining how he bought it from a merchant down by the docks. She tries scanning it with her focus, but it doesn't offer up any new circuit. It's secrets. Oh, look at that. Look at her focus. Aloy's senses are overwhelmed by the variety of aromas that blend together as they enter a plaza, moving towards a huddle of food stalls on the other side. The bouquet of char, spices, and frying oil was connected to happy memories for her, as she is the sturdy presence of Erend, as as is the sturdy presence of Erend by her side. They approach Lodiv's stand. The old Karja leathery face, the old Karja's, I can't speak. I can do this. The old Karja's leathery face lighting up when he spots them. He has enough tact not to carry on too much about Aloy's presence, which she appreciates. Waving away their shards, he hands them each a paper sack of pork buns, piping hot and delicately pleated. Ooh. Carrying their treat over to a railing across the pathway, they swing their legs over to sit and look out over the jewel. Aloy dips her nose into her bag and inhales deeply, letting the delicious scent of braised meat and steamed dough wash over her, before plucking out a bun to take a generous bite. Remember the last time we did this? I remember that smug smile on your face when you told me I was about to have a new favorite food. And was I right? You know you were. It's kind of hard to, like, he doesn't have, like, a deep voice, but, like, was I right? Oh, the blush. I do love this. They eat in companionable silence for a moment, taking in the view. Aloy finds herself stealing glances at Erend when he's looking the other way, unable to shake the feeling that there's something different about him. Have his eyes always been that blue? Or is it just the way that light is hitting his face? Has the cut of his jaw always been that strong, or did he start trimming his beard differently? Has the urge to rest her head on his shoulder always been there? Or is she just tired? So, were you ever going to tell me about your broken leg? Beta in her big mouth. Yeah, she called me after you left. Wanted me to make sure you took it easy. Don't worry, I've been training for weeks to get back into shape. My leg is as good as new. I would have told you when it happened, but I didn't want you to worry. Can't help but worry about you, Aloy. You're always taking risks. But I won't give you a hard time. I'm sure you didn't need this big lug hovering over you anyhow. I wouldn't have minded the company, to be honest. Ooh! It goes up to his ear? Look at that. That's cute. But you were doing important work. I wasn't going to interrupt that. There wasn't much you could have been able to do for me anyway. Well, I'm glad you're in one piece. Could have been much worse. One Piece! I'm sorry. A meat pocket! You know what? Yes. The fact that there's so many different types of meat pockets across the world, like pork buns, empanadas, like samosas. I had the best samosas I ever had. Like when I was in Denmark, that was so good. Oh my god, I just ate. I don't need to be thinking about more food. But meat pocket, indeed. I'm actually eating a candy right now. You know those like peelers? They're so good. I got some earlier. Well, I'm glad you're in one piece. Could have been worse, Aloy. You really gotta stop taking on these big fights all alone. You've got people now. No reason to risk your neck like that anymore. He's right, but Aloy knows herself too well to promise she's done taking these kinds of risks. Still, she doesn't want to argue with him. It has been too long since she's seen him. And it's nice to be just like this. At ease. Friendly. Together. Speaking of important work, what have you been up to these last few months? Your last message said you were on your way to the claim. I was surprised to hear you were still in Meridian, actually. Yeah, well, focus trading took longer than anticipated. And I've been gathering intelligence from Oseram traveling in from the claim. Trying to plot my route and get an idea of which clans will be best to target first. I also passed over the captainship to Alder and Jurov. Figured it wasn't really fair to ask Avad to hold a position for me. Set him up with focuses, too. How did that go? Not bad. Although I wish I hadn't taught them how to call me. They're pests. Considering how they were like making fun of him when Aloy and him were reunited and they were like behind me like, isn't that like his crush and stuff like that? I can imagine when they call him, they're like, Erend, how's your horrible crush on Aloy? Shut up. No, like really, how are you? You're not gonna ask me about the crush again? No. like I can imagine their actual. I do love his like team. They're really fun, and I would like to see more of them in the game. I can imagine them just like pestering him all the time, so that's actually lots of fun. Aloy plucks the last pork bun from her paper sack, surprised at how reluctant she is to end the pleasant moment between them. She chews it slowly, wanting to talk to him more, to tell him about everything she's been through since they last saw each other. But it still feels like far too much to put into words. I'm still chewing on the candy. Alright. I guess we better go get some answers from that merchant that sold you the device. You said his stand is by the docks? That's right. Let's go see what he has to say for himself. Felt weird how I said that. Erend's large form parts the crowd for them as they step off the elevators and make their way down to the docks, leading her to a small, tucked-away stall piled with what looks like more like scrap than wares. Behind it, an Oseram merchant is bent over a table, using an eyepiece to examine the gadget in his hand. Erend wraps his knuckle on the counter, producing the device from his pocket and waving it at the man. You know, when he said that he got it from a merchant down by the docks, the immediate two people I had thought of first was those two merchants who were like an Ostrom and a Karja guy who kept fighting over like which lens they were supposed to that was gonna sell the best. Jeez. Oh. No, this is just a random new dude, I think. I don't think I've ever seen him before. But I do like his design. He looks friendly. Look at him. Hello again, friend. I bought this gizmo off you yesterday, if you recall. We just had a few questions on its origins. Hello. Oh god, like, it's hard. The merchant looks up, his eyes moving from Erend to the device to Aloy. He sputters a bit as he recognizes her, nearly dropping the gadget in his hand. Savior! What an honor it is! You're smaller than I thought you'd be. They made that statue far too tall. Yeah, they didn't exactly consult me about the statue. Come on, damn it! From what I hear, your man here did his best to talk them out of it. Whole town was full of gossip about the captain of the vanguard trying to make them stop building. Sounds like he knew what he was talking about when he said you wouldn't like it. Aloy turns to look at Erend, whose cheeks have gone a little pink. She realizes she never really asked him much about the 6 months after the Battle of the Light, beyond the brief conversation at Barren Light. That's true. The catch-up they did wasn't a lot. What were you doing, Erend? I love that. A strange warmth is brewing in her chest as she realizes he tried to advocate for her, even after she hurt him so much by disappearing. That means something to her. Something she's not ready to poke at too closely just yet. He meets her eyes, shrugging a little sheepishly, and another gush of affection sweeps over her. Okay, alright. Maybe I do like him more. I'm sorry, Seika. I'm so fond over this man. Like, again, he just grew on me after the second playthrough and the third. Like, oh god. I do also love Talana, but Erend was such a big part of the game. Oh my gosh. What can you tell us about where you found this device? I'm getting like, listen, I got all like flustered over Seika, but I'm also kind of getting like butterflies over this. This is so much fun. Don't know much. Bought it off a Delver crew right on the edge of the claim. Said they had uncovered an underground ruin up near a copper crag and have been excavating it for a while now. Sounded like it was sealed up pretty tight, but they're blasting through it little by little. Do I give this man a like accent? Let me try again. Don't know much. Bought it off a Delver crew running the edge of the claim. Said they had uncovered an underground ruin up near Copper Crag. They've been excavating it for a while now. Sounded like it was sealed up pretty tight, but they're blasting through it little by little. Copper Crag is just the south of Hearthglow, right? Sorry. Copper Crag is another... The southern accent did not help me. Did not help me at all. Copper Crag is just south of Hearthglow, yeah? Used to know someone from that area. I'm giving him a southern accent. It's like I don't know why. I'm like the deep voice for some reason lends to me like drawling. That's the one. My mother's people from there. Bet we have some kin in common. Actually, we're kind of in a rush. Could you just point us in the right direction? Just head north until you reach the Savage Flow. Then follow it until you see smoke rising from the Easter Ridge. That'll be Copper Crag. Bit of a climb, but you can't miss it. Be on the lookout for rock breakers, though. I hear they've been causing problems in that area. They thank the merchant and head back towards the elevators. Aloy knows she can't possibly leave Erend behind for this mission. Beyond how much easier his connections and familiarity with the claim will make her task, she finds that she simply wants him at her side. His presence has made her feel better than she has in months, and she is not ready to part just yet. The that realization frightens her. It's the same pull she felt with Seika, reluctant to be separated, scraping for excuses to spend time together. But Erend isn't a sweet-faced stranger who knows next to nothing about her. He's part of her life, her first friend, her loyal companion, the man who dropped everything to rush to her aid. She couldn't feel that way about him. What if he didn't feel the same? What if it ended badly? Girly, this man has been down bad for you the moment he met you. Shut up. I'm sorry. I should be more sympathetic to this. The amount of times I've like in when I was before my current thing that I got going on right now, my current relationship with my beloved boyfriend. Before that, I remember how anxious and dumb and like, do they like me? No, dumbass. Yes, they do. You're just really oblivious of the amount of people, girls and boys, I was so oblivious about. But anyway, her stomach does little flips as she wrestles with her feelings, which seems so much harder to push aside than usual. Well, it sounds like we're headed for the claim. We? It'll go much faster if I have you there to grease the gears. Spoken like a true Oseram. Ooh, he just winked at her! Aloy pauses to consider their next steps. She knows taking him with her on the Sunwing means touching. Potential. Oh my gosh, touching? Oh no! Potentially a lot of touching. Ooh, Aloy! She remembers vividly how much Seika had to touch her when they flew together. Just all I'm imagining is Aloy like lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling and blushing, going like, her hands were everywhere. I love Aloy so much. Also, I do love how other play how much the game makes it clear that Aloy and Seika had a connection because they did, and regardless of what other routes you go through, Seika is still a major point for Aloy and her life because she is definitely still someone that she had feelings for and probably still does, even if she has a whole thing with like Erend or Talana or Petra, which I haven't done the other playthroughs yet, but I imagine she's still going to be like a major through line, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I love that so much. She still remembers vividly how much her. Yeah, I read that bit already. And there's so much more of Erend. All these giddy new emotions were overwhelming enough without his hands on her. Perhaps she would be better off meeting him there, using the journey to try and clear her head? No, you're just gonna drive yourself into a tizzy thinking about it is what's gonna happen. But the idea of his arms around her is undeniably interesting. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, girly. Like, also, you have your midriff exposed. That's a lot more skin. I'm, so- I'm sorry, I gotta stop. I mean, I think Aaron would probably be blushing just as hard. Because you would be the one driving the Sunwing, right? He'd be I'm sorry, I'm over here thinking about him having his arms wrapped around her waist, like draped across her back. Oh my gosh! You and Seika were like, ooh. Oh gosh. Okay, so we're at a choice now, and I already know what I'm going to choose because like I don't know if it's the food or the candy that makes me more giddy, but I just no, it's just I just really love Erend. I'm sorry. I do also love Seika a lot. And I'm trying to justify myself, but I really shouldn't, and I don't need to. But I feel like this is a good point to take a break for right now. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes or so I can go refill my water and junk. But yeah, give me like a little bit, and I'll be right back, uh, and we can continue our fun little route with Erend. Woo! All right, 1 second. Be right back. Alright, thank you for your patience. I am back with everything. Now we're gonna make our choice. Oh my gosh. Alright, alright. Of course I'm gonna ask what I wanna see what it likes to fly. So you wanna see what it feels like to fly? Hey, look at that! She's finally gonna let me fly on the Sunwing! Gonna let me drive too? How about we see if you can stay on board while wearing all that metal first? Managed to hang onto a cliff face with my fingertips while wearing quite a bit more, in case you forgot. Anyways, I'm not wearing Vanguard armor in the claim. Lots of Eldermen will call me a carja lover on sight and run me out of town. I'll be traveling a little lighter for this outing. Ooh. Costume change, costume change! Erend is kind enough to offer the divan in his apartment for the night, but Aloy doesn't want to linger in the city. If the Vlad finds out she's in Meridian, getting away quickly in the morning will be much harder. Sorry, the Avad. Yeah. Wow. Sorry, Avad. But she's not wrong. And instead, she makes camp on the outskirts, in the spot bordered by rock walls that can't be seen from the Sun King's tower. It makes Avad sound like a menace, which a little bit. He's not that much of a menace, but it does make him sound like a full menace. Oh, look at the leaves falling down. That's nice. The sun is just barely peeking over the horizon as Erend arrives at her camp the next day. He eyes the Sunwing with some wariness, but there's a smile on his face as he watches Aloy secure her pack to its neck. Excuse me, I burped. Almost at once, she notices he's changed his outfit, and she's never seen so... See, I didn't want to say it before when you said he was going to be traveling much lighter, and I was immediately like, is he going to show more skin? And he is! Thank you! I feel so fulfilled right now. The writers really know how to... The writers of this game really know how to, like, cater to me. Which I know I'm not being directly catered to, but I'm like, I do feel catered to. Oh, she's never seen so much of him before. Her pulse quickens inexplicably. Inexplicably? No, it's explicable. It's because all that's out. And her mouth is suddenly a little dry. Arms, arms, arms. And look at his tattoo. Oh my gosh. I love this. Oh, I love this. You sure we can't just take the charger? You sure we just can't take chargers? You really want to run a couple of chargers across miles of rock breaker infested desert? You're right, of course. If I fall to my death, just remember me fondly, will you? Will you? Oh god, he has, like, the accent he has, I can't do. Aloy snorts and walks over to take his pack from him, turning back to the Sunwing to secure it tightly near the machine's neck. Normally, she would have something snappy to respond with, but the simmering feeling of awareness in her belly is making everything weird. She knows precisely how little space there is with two people on the Sunwing, and there will be even less space with someone the size of Erend. Her face. The idea of him close to her is both thrilling and terrifying. She briefly considers changing her mind, telling him to go find a charger and meet her there. No, you can't do that. But she knows it'll hurt him if she suggests leaving him behind. The only thing scarier than touching him right now is causing him pain. She finds herself far more conscious of his emotional state than she has been in the past. She's not sure what that means. Like, considering last game, we've spent a lot of it with Varl, and Varl was such a big part of it. Which, like, I get why, like, I love Varl, and I'm still unhappy about how his death. Why? He didn't need to die. It wasn't necessary. It didn't, like, I don't know if it did anything for any, like, even if they were, like, fridging him, it wouldn't have been better if it was a narrative choice. It does feel like they fridged him, but it, for Aloy's development, honestly, which pisses me off so much. But, like, I'm eating a mango peelers now. I'm sorry. But like, but like we spent a lot of the game with him because we were kind of like developing Aloy's like need to ask for help. I mean, Erend is there too, but she left him behind, and he was very hurt about being left behind, and she had to learn how to like ask for help. But I'm not sure if like the whole thing with him feeling hurt and her was resolved very well. I have to replay the game. I feel like we could have spent a little more time on their relationship, and not because of my shipping reasons, just because I feel like they have a significant relationship, and he felt really hurt, and I feel like the game didn't spend enough time with him there. But anyway, her and Varl were really great, and they're great friends, and I love them so much. You know who else? Like I said this before. Who else I wanted to live is Vala. So like Sona. I hope Sona's in the third game so bad. I need way too much of her. But if they kill her, we are not killing the whole family. We killed Vala, then her, and then her son. If Sona dies, I will riot. I will riot. But anyway, yeah, she's more aware of it. Aaron's gone through a lot. They both have. They lost a lot of people. So many people lost so many people. Oh my gosh. Right? Yeah, right? Like straight up. Anyway, like I again, this fan game is fulfilling a lot of like narrative needs for me in a way that the games haven't. Unless they did, and I don't remember. But I feel like Forbidden West didn't have the same amount of like feeling. Like again, it was an amazing game, but I feel like it was a little less impersonal than the first game was. Because I remember complaining about this to like my friend P, who like again he's also a big fan of the game. I remember being like telling him like the whole thing with Tilda, for example, like I wish she was like an antagonist earlier in the game. Like we knew her earlier, so like later that big old fight with her would have had so much more impact. For one, like if we had to have like Aloy kind of grappling with like help or stuff like that, and like the shadow of, you think the opposite? Huh? I don't know. I just think it would have been a neat idea to have Aloy between Varl and Tilda. Because Varl here is kind of representative of her time with Nora and her time with like Rost, sort of, and kind of pushing her to open herself up. Like without Varl, kind of like pushing and chasing her, she wouldn't have opened up as much. Like it is a game about her learning to like open herself up to people more. So it is more personal than that, and Aloy, the first game is just Aloy kind of chasing her destiny, chasing answers. But I don't know. I feel like we had more interaction with people than the second. Maybe I have to replay. But or maybe I'm just like thinking that there's certain characters that she didn't interact with enough for my tastes. I might change my mind later, but I think that's mostly true with Tilda. But I still think Varl didn't need to die. That for sure. I can say I don't think I'll ever change my mind on. You know what? I probably need to replay the game because there is a lot of companion side quests. Her side quest with Talana in the second game was actually very fun and I really love revisiting that because we also have a set because in that side quest we also see a side of Talana, which also it kind of just sets up Aloy's romance with Seika later. Because we see Talana having a whole romance, getting rejected, and like having that whole thing happen. And Aloy being there by her side through it, helping her, being supportive. And I think that kind of also helps Aloy open herself up to being open to Seika later. So you might not be wrong. I'm gonna have to replay the game. I'm gonna have to replay the game. Honestly, I've never been super involved in the fandom. I've always been a lurker. I just need to like get myself more involved in fandom because like I feel like a lot of like my experience of the game and like what I discuss after is usually just me and my friend P talking about it afterward. Again, I've played the first game multiple times, so that might also just be a like influence. Like the playthrough I'm doing now is literally my fourth playthrough, and Forbidden West I've only played once because I barely got my hands on it, like barely last year. So I think I just need to play it more. That is, oh yeah, you're actually right. What was one of the side quests? Was like one of the side quests was that one. What was the two girls with the siblings? Like her sister was definitely very much autistic, and she loved making things explode. And I love that side quest. And you're actually right. That's a sibling relationship. I love those two. I hope they show them again in the next game. And then what was that one Oseram girl that we found who was trying to like find connections? The Tanakh too, with all the history stuff too. Like a lot of that was mischances, but also just the mourning and remembrance of people because Rost and his memory was also a big part of the game too. I think that's probably what I mostly. Thank you, Boomer and Della. They were great, but like, and I love them. I think that like they're very memorable for me, and I love them a lot. I think maybe it's because in my mind, my focused more on Aloy processing the grief of Rost's death because she did not do that at all in the first game. And the reason why she even processed it at all was because of Varl. And Zoe helped her kind of complete that kind of like, I think, catharsis towards the end of the game with Varl's death. Which I guess now I see how that was a narratively poignant choice, but it still feels as though Varl got fridged for Aloy's development. They could have maybe fulfilled that in a different way. I just don't know how. Maybe if they just hadn't killed Vala in the first game. And then they just kill her in the second game. No, that's worse. Anyway, Actually, you're probably right, and I just saw this more as like a Ross thing, and I accidentally went forward again. Ah! Anyway, let's continue on before I get even more like on a tangent, because I have so much to say about the game, and and you also remember so much. I'm very impressed with how much you remember, but considering like the name, the fact you remember the name straight off the top of your head, impressive. Let me find the part that I accidentally skipped over. Okay, but she knows it'll only hurt him if she suggests leaving him behind. The only thing scarier than touching him right now is causing him pain. She finds herself more conscious of his emotional state than she has been in the past. And she's not sure what that means. Don't worry, I'll protect you. Now come on, up you go. You know what's funny? She actually does at the end of the game seem a little more sensitive to Erend and his feelings. Even though Aloy's always been a very compassionate person. She mounts the bird as she says it, gesturing him to rejoin her. He grasps some of the cables behind her leg, hauling himself upwards. With some effort, he manages to heft himself onto the machine's back, settling her behind, but not just touching her yet. Ooh la la. Aloy sighs, wishing it could stay that way, but she knows the danger of him toppling off the back if he doesn't shift his center of gravity forward. You know what? I will do a replay for Forbidden West on this channel. I will, because clearly I do need to do a replay. There's always more to see when you do a second playthrough. I always love seeing like the connections that you didn't see in the first one, because you were experiencing it for the first time. Ooh, just he'll be fine. No, just don't shake it too much. Not it. The Sunwing. Whoops. As if to prove it, the Sunwing rocks a bit. Okay. Throwing Erend off balance and tipping him into her. Okay, the Sunwing is being a wingman right now. Quite literally. Throwing Erend off balance and tipping him into her. Instinctively, his hands latch onto her waist as she pitches forward, steadying both of them before quickly releasing her. The damage is done, though. Her skin tingles with awareness, a pleasant heat flaring in her stomach. She can still feel where his hands were, even though he's not touching her anywhere. Touching her anymore! Aw, cute. Sorry, not even off the ground yet, I'm a liability. You're doing fine, Erend. It takes a second to get used to the Sunwing's movements, but you are going to have to hang on to me and plant your feet as firmly as you can. I love that her name was Boomer. I'm sorry, I'm getting. I looked at the chat again and I saw your message that Boomer Della, and I love that her name was Boomer. It was very on the nose. Like, oh well, Alan, what about? And like, I can imagine. I can imagine Gorilla Games like in the room, the writing room, going like, and we're gonna have a side quest with two siblings. One of them likes to make things go boom, and she's like autistic. What should we name her? Boomer. That's perfect. Just on the nose name. Alright, tell me if I'm holding on too tight. Aloy isn't prepared as Erend's arms come around her waist, heat creeping up her neck as she feels the firm pressure of him at her back. Her body welcomes the contact like a long-lost companion, even though physical affection is still something she's getting used to. She'd gotten a taste of it with Seika, and has missed it every day since. The fact that it's Erend touching her now fills her with a strange mix of comfort and trepidation. She knows how complicated it can make things to have these feelings for one of her closest friends. But now is not the time for this. They have an important mission before them. That should be her one and only focus. This new distraction is starting to frustrate her. I ate another candy and it's making it harder to read. I need to chew. What was that? Alrighty. I finished chewing. Oh no. This is not the time for this. They have an important mission before them. That should be her one and only focus. I'm sorry, Aloy, that's not the point of this game. It's called Focus on the Heart. This new distraction is starting to frustrate her. Shaking her head, she confirms Erend is ready to go before swiftly urging the bird into the air. Oh, that's so cute! Look at that! They look so happy. There's an owl? Hello. It's like, who are you people? I'm sorry, like I love that this is like cute and then I immediately get distracted by the owl in the background. Oh my gosh, like this is so cute. And he's, oh my gosh, and then him holding on to her smile. I just love how like the art on her smile, like the way her eyes scrunch up in the cheeks. It's so cute. That is adorable. Sorry, I had to mute myself for a second. Anyway, rare daytime owl. Yeah! Why is it outside during the day? Like, I forget which owl is definitely a daytime owl. Is it the elf owl? There's like a tiny owl that's in the Mexican Sonora desert. And it is like it lives in like little hollows of like cacti, I think. And it's cute in like the size of a swallow, and it's like I think it does hunt during the daytime. I don't remember. Anyway, this is adorable and I love it. He mumbles something she can't make out over the sound of the wind, but his grip eases up a bit once they level out. She feels surrounded by him, and it takes every ounce of her strength not to lean back into his embrace. It's going to be a long ride to the claim. The hours pass with little to distract her from his closeness, but it's not as awkward as she feared. Once he gets over the initial jitters, they relax into easy conversation. Erend is full of tales of his adventure in the hidden Ember and Meridian, and Aloy is more than happy to hear them. I think this is so funny because like the air whooshing past their ears will probably make it hard to speak. And probably half the time he'll be like, and this happened, and then like, what? And no, this happened. Like, no, he's probably good because he probably Aaron's always had a booming voice, so she probably can hear him just fine. But I think it'd be. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm like over here living for the bit. She's filled with a hazy warmth from being pressed so close, but it's nice. She really has missed being touched. She finds herself strangely reluctant to be separated as she lands the Sunwing just outside of Copper Crag. You know, you could also just say that your leg is hurting and have him carry you, but I'm sure she couldn't live from the mortification. Can barely be called a town, just a huddled group of stone buildings tucked into a broad granite ridge. Plumes of smoke rising from the fires and furnaces scattered between them. The sounds of rowdy Oseram going about their business reach Aloy's ears, even from a distance, percussed by the rhythmic thud of trip hammers. You know one thing about Forbidden West? The machines are fucking terrifying. I mean, the machines are terrifying in general, but they were worse, and maybe my mind was just more focused on the machines I was fighting. Follow the leaves again. The town gates are guarded by a pair of burly, helmeted Oseram, who let them pass without too much trouble. Their presence is immediately noted by the townspeople near the entrance. And Aloy is aware of that familiar yet uncomfortable feeling of being whispered about. Gosh. Talk shit about me to my face. Actually, maybe don't. Stay like 10 feet away from me. I mean, not all of them are talking shit. Majority of them are going like, is that the savior? Oh my god, it is. She's shorter than I thought she was. It's not unexpected. She is used to her presence drawing attention. In a way, it's a relief to be noticed simply for being a stranger again, without the shouts of savior or champion following her through the streets. You know what? That's fair. Listen, she's perfectly fine with the xenophobia of being like, is that a redheaded outlander? Who's this outlander? Hail, outlander, you know? Guess we ought to start working on people. Might take some effort to win them over. We'll get done faster if we split up. Normally I'd agree, but not with these folks. Oseram aren't like the ones back home, you know. Gonna be suspicious enough of me, and I'm one of them. Aloy watches him for a moment, considering. She would prefer to cover as much ground as they can, but knows Erend wouldn't suggest otherwise without a good reason. The looks they received at the gates make it clear that the outsiders are regarded with suspicion. And, after all, his familiarity with Oseram and their customs is why she brought him along in the first place. You sure, Aloy? You sure it's not just because of those guns? No, she's a practical woman. She wouldn't do that just for, just because she was thirsty. Would she? Well, one of the reasons. I knew it, Aloy. Beta would have a field day. Alright, I'll follow your lead. Look, if anything goes wrong, we can resort back to the backup plan. Backup plan? Start buying rounds at the tavern, of course. Quickest way to get the bellows singing. If it's as strong as the stuff you were serving at the base, we might know every secret in the claim by the end of the night. I just hope you brought enough shards. Together they I the amount of shards that I have in the game right now. It's like I might as well be his sugar mama. Together they begin to approach various Oseram, trying to keep things casual as they dig for information. But their status as complete strangers does them no favors. Aloy quickly learns to let Erend do the talking, and when she tries asking her own questions, she is consistently met with short, curt responses, if not utter silence. A particularly nasty man makes a comment that nearly earns him a face full of her fist, but Erend manages to pull her away before it turns into a street brawl. I also forgot the Oseram are very patriarchal, and some of those which guy did we meet that was a fucking douchebag? I forget his name, but there was a dude who was a full douchebag who was Oseram, I think. I forget his name, or am I just because I remember a lot of the Oseram we met, not all of them were douchebags. There was most of them were just chill dudes doing their delves. You know what I mean? And the Oseram women we met often just like were like, nah, that dude's a dumbass. Oseram women were always pretty tough and full of grit, and always were just like, I just went and did my own thing. Oh my gosh. Aloy would have kicked his ass. Right? A lot of them are pretty sexist. And like, at least the, like, thing is, I'm realizing the ones that I kept in my mind, like that one guy who was like, that one tinkerer from Las Vegas, the one Ostrom we met in the DLC, the the few Ostrom guys that I keep in my own mind are the guys who weren't sexist. Thing is, Erend, even though he's a big part of the game, was a little low key sexist, and him just his quote of him saying, "I thought I was flirting with a pretty girl," already reveals that he had some sexism in his own worldview, just a tiny bit, despite it being the little brother of Ursa the Vanguard, you know what I mean? So it is just a low level thing for every Oseram. But the ones that I kept in mind were the ones who were just not douchebags to me. I think I just fully erased the other ones from my mind. But yeah, no, that was like a huge part of their culture. Like the Karja and the Meridian, like in Meridian also. I think I last time I played, I think there was a guy. I was just walking next to some guys, and one of them was like, "Wow, she's pretty cool for a girl." Like, geez, dude, I'm just randomly walking by. Go sell fish somewhere else. And yeah, a lot of us are pretty fucking sexist. Eventually, they find a reluctantly helpful butcher who, for the price of 2 parcels of boar jerky, urges them towards a group of men standing around in the town plaza. He assures them that if anyone can point them in the right direction, it will be Golver, the town weaponsmith. Oh, he already looks kind of like a douchebag. I love that smile. Hello, brothers. Looking for a Golver Hammersmith? I here's the man to talk to if you need. No, that's Erend. I'm sorry. That's Erend. I was doing the voice because I thought the new dude was talking. Hello, brothers. Looking for a Golver Hammersmith? I here's the man to talk to if you need to know something. You're looking at him. Erend extends a hand and Golver shakes it, making no attempt to hide the suspicion on his face. He spares a glance for Aloy, sneering as his eyes linger on her Nora hairstyle. Oh yeah. There's also the simple fact that everyone hate the Nora because they're all like, oh, they're savages from the north. It's funny how the one matriarchal tribe in the world is the one that everyone reveres as the savages. Which, I mean, yes, the practice of making outcasts isn't great. It's probably one of the worst things that some of the tribes do, even though there are other tribes that do. But nope, when they toss someone out, leaving them out in the cold was crazy. Like, they all do something not great, you know? It's just crazy to me that everyone thinks the Nora is, like, savages, but I feel like there's, like, this low-key, like, implied sense of sexism from everyone else. At least that's the reason why they think of them as savages. Despite the fact that the Nora are some of the most hardiest, sturdiest people out there. Even though I know the Oseram are more the ones that are supposed to be, like, they're almost like dwarf coded in my mind. They're supposed to be sturdy and stuff, but like the Nora are probably the most battle hardened, aside from like the Tanakh, in my opinion. Like the way they're described a lot of the time. Yeah, that's true. That is also very true. Like people just like they don't really talk to people because they're like you can't leave the sacred lands. I wonder how that's gonna change in the third game, considering that like Aloy goes back with like it's probably gonna end up going back with So to introduce the Sona's grandson to her, grandson, right? That's true. Nora very very rare. The mysterious women folk. I wish there was more like I just love the world building of the Horizon world. It's very good. And I need to like immerse myself a little more in it. Gosh. Erend extends a hand and Gulliver shakes it, making no attempt to hide the suspicion on his face. First a glance for Aloy, sneering as his eyes linger on her Nora hairstyle. I've heard of your skill for forge and fine weapons. Got a few friends all the way down in Meridian who swear by your work. Even knowing perfectly well that he's improvising and has never heard Gulliver's name before today, Aloy has to admit Erend is convincing. His worn, confident demeanor makes him come off as instantly likable. Even the bystanders seem to relax, going back to their business. It's so fun to think that Erend has a high charisma stack. The suspicious frown on Gulliver's face is immediately smoothed by the flattery. He puffs out his chest and plants his fist on his hips. I didn't know my reputation went that far, but it's nice to hear. What can I do for you? Erend gestures at Aloy with a relaxed smile. I'll let my good friend Aloy here fill you in. Aloy knows he's showing off by letting her do the talking. He's that confident Gulliver will be on their side. She can't help but smile at seeing him so sure of himself. We were told that there's going an ongoing delve in an old ruin near town. They've been selling their salvage. We need to see if they have the counterpart to the piece we purchased. Okay. Also, now I'm remembering, the Tenakth weren't sexist. They were just really bloodthirsty. Like, they are like a warrior clan. But I don't remember them being sexist in any way or form. Nothing mattered to them other than strength. The Oseram and the Karja, though, were pretty sexist. Like, really sexist. And the, I just said their name. Why did I forget the other tribe's name? The Quen. Is the Quen kind of sexist? Can't remember if the Quen are sexist. They were definitely classist to a very extreme degree, like how the Karja were. The, am I forgetting those tribes named the Oval? Why am I forgetting their name? I literally just said their name. Like, are the Tenakth pretty sexist? I can't remember. I don't think they were, like, hugely sexist. I think it mattered, like Regala wasn't treated lesser for being a woman. She was treated the way she was because she went against the chief. Well, if you talk about Draka, his behavior is a little... I think they're all maybe they're all just low level like that. The Quen definitely had some sexism, I think, in there. They were more classist. I think that was the focus, but like they were a smidge bit like sexist too. The Karjan and the Ostrom, I think, to some degree, are the worst offenders. We were told that there's an ongoing delve. Right? Like, I know that they're kind of, like, at least some sort of sexist. It just wasn't the focus. The same sort of sexist tendencies we have in our modern fantasy? Well, I mean, I guess considering they had more exposure to the actual modern knowledge, that it would be something that they have. Yeah, they were pretty much like that. Radical egalitarians. Would that be... Why can't I pronounce anything today? Yeah, they were practical more than anything. Yeah, that's fair. Considering the exposure to the media that they had, that is kind of where that unconscious bias forms. I mean, thing is that unconscious bias that we have in our own society is built into our society, so then it would be the same for the Quen. So yeah, no, you're not wrong. There's like a little bit of that sense of like underestimation and sexism. Whereas the Karja and the Osram, well, it is built into their society. It isn't like a low level, like simmering thing. It is like just overt. That is true. Like, yes. Like Seika isn't a leader, but she is a marine. There, like, so it. You're right. It is definitely like in the sense of like women aren't allowed to have these kind of high positions. They do are allowed to have positions that to some degree are important. Like Alva being a diviner is a very like well regarded position. But we don't see many other diviners who are women. Like the other diviners that we meet are mostly men. Alva is one of the few exceptions, I think. We'll see. Utaru, thank you. I for why I said the name of that tribe earlier, and I fully forgot like that I had said it. Yes, the Tanakh, the Buddha also just doesn't seem to have any of that. Like the Utaru are definitely more about harmony, kind of to the degree. Though they also have that issue of like we don't want anything to do with any of that. They kind of like are a little scared, a little passive. And then the Tanakh are overly aggressive, with the Banuk being like it's all about survival. Hmm. Yeah, that's something to consider. It still doesn't change the fact that we haven't seen any other female diviners aside from Alva. But it isn't treated strange for Alva to be a female diviner. That's never was like an attitude that anyone ever had. Like sometimes like it's like sometimes it feels for some people I know that sometimes it's like for example like truckers. I know for a fact that people Federa. God, it's been so long since I played Forbidden West. I suck. You're right. There's also her. So there are other female diviners. Hmm. I mean, it's not outrightly said, and there are no women in leadership program. Like, honestly, I very much like am impressed by your eye and attention to detail because I don't remember any of that. I again this just means I need to replay Forbidden West because clearly I just don't remember a lot of this. Okay. We were told there was an ongoing delve in an old ruin near town. They've been selling the salvage, and we need to see if they have the counterpart to a piece that we purchased. Oh, and I might be able to offer some assistance in getting past some of the doors. We heard it's been slow work breaking through some of the barriers. Gulliver sizes her up, and for a moment she thinks he might snub her. But he looks back to Erend and nods. Yeah, I heard about that too. Don't know where it is myself. Chained to the forge most days, as you might expect. Old Hander Delverson runs with that gang, though. He stops by... Hander Delverson. He stops by the tavern most nights. He'd be your best bet for getting a location on the ruin. Your help is greatly appreciated, friend. If you and your crew end up in the tavern tonight, first round is on me. That brings smiles to all the men's faces, including Gulliver's. Erend turns to Aloy, giving her one of those grins that makes her heart beat a little faster, looking shyly pleased with himself. It's like, did I do good? Did I do good? It suddenly hits her that she's felt this way about him before. More than once, too. Even back to the early days of their friendship. But each time it had bubbled up to the surface, she had ruthlessly shoved it back down, not knowing what it was and a little terrified of finding out. She probably was like, I don't have time for this. Squash. I wonder if you could pinpoint the moment Aloy feels a thing in the game and then decides to just... I'm pretty sure there are points where Aloy feels a thing and then decides to just... Like, nope, that goes in the vault. Just a la Finn from Adventure Time. It's like, oh wow, that was terrifying. Oh wow, that was an inconvenient feeling. You know where that goes? Plunk, right in the vault. Oh my god, that'd be so. There's been weirder crossovers. That'd be so funny to have like a Adventure Time crossover with. Finn and Aloy. Finn's like, hey, you're adventurer too! Mathematical! Oh no. She knew now. Guess we'll have to find this Handor fellow. Suppose we should go wait for him in the tavern? Might be worth grabbing a room for the night while we're at it. Rooms. I mean, it'll beat sleeping on the ground at least. Only one bed? One bed, trope? Aloy hadn't thought about sleeping arrangements yet. She finds herself sinking into the mental image of his sleeping form beside her, heat creeping up her neck as she wonders what it would feel like if he reached her in the night. Damn it, Aloy, get a grip. No, you... Actually, yes, get a grip, but not on... Not... You know where you would be gripping. You know you would be gripping, Aloy. Aloy, you still with me? Yeah, sorry, lost in thought. Let's head to the tavern. How long have I been streaming for? 2 hours and a half! Woo! I've actually gone over what I usually do. I usually do like 2 hours tops, but I started late, and I keep rambling. Also, Root Suit Try It is giving me a lot of food for thought, and I... You're not at fault for my tangents at all. Honestly, you fuel them, and I appreciate it, and you have a lot of, to offer, and I love it. But I realize that a lot of my tangents have attributed to the longer length of the stream, which isn't a bad thing. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep going until I hit another choice, and then I'll end it there. So yeah, she's so cute. Look at her. Also, I just kind of like how her fingers have these just a little redden and the freckles on her shoulders. It's very cute. I just love the design of the art style so much. And the little swirling face of the leaves falling in the air. They proceed down the main path, getting directions to the tavern as they go. And Aloy mulls over the afternoon's events. Also, I'm sorry if I ruined the pronunciation of your username. I'm like, whoops! I can't say things right. Oh. She has to admit that if she left Erend behind, she would probably still be trying to dig up answers. Or running from an angry mob. She knows that she doesn't often give herself a lot of credit when he does things well. Today he did something really well. And if you give him the chance, he'll learn to do other things really well. I just am... My brain goes bad places. You know what I mean? Also, am I... Listen, I probably know this is unintentional, but trying to dig up... Listen, I feel like the writers do a lot of little puns, and I appreciate it. And they probably aren't trying to do little puns. Because, delvers, Oseram do a lot of digging. Anyway. No, I'm at the other choice. Man. I kinda actually want to keep playing, though. But, you know what? I'll go past the choice and see how it goes. I know I just said I would end it at a choice, but I kind of don't want to end it yet. So, you know what? I'm going to go for a half hour more. Let's make this a 3-hour stream. Why not? Let's just do it. Wait, so what did I say before this? Okay, so the choices are, I've had enough of diplomacy. You did well back there. Thanks for your help. Do I want to praise him? Or do I want to thank him? I want to praise him, honestly. I made the middle choice earlier too, and I often feel like I make middle choices. I might, once I go through all of the runs, I might replay one of the runs and make different choices. But for now, I'm not going to do that. I want to praise him. I'm going to praise him. You did well back there. That was really good back there, Erend. I doubt I would have gotten anything out of those guys without you. Aw, thanks, Aloy. Even every now and then I don't put my foot in my mouth, I guess. Hell's to no one was hurling fruit at me this time. The tomatoes. Fruit or no fruit. It's so funny to me that, after 1,000 years and no help from, and no access to Apollo. One of the fruits that was saved is tomatoes. And people still hurl tomatoes at the Karja, presenting at the Nora. I guess that's just that one thing transcends even the destruction of the earth and the erasing of like the world's knowledge and history. Tomatoes being hurled at a person you don't like. Universal across time. You sure know how to calm a crowd. If you're trying to make me blush, it's working. Oh, he's so cute. I just love the smile. Okay. Is this gonna be a one bed trope? Because if it's a one bed trope, I'm gonna flip my shit. I'm gonna be so excited. Handor is nowhere to be found when they get to the tavern, and they only get halfway into their first pint before impatient begins to tug at the edges of her thoughts. Ooh, she's not happy. If they're not able to leave for the ruins at first light, she's likely to start knocking heads together. Staying in one place for so long as her broken leg healed made it even harder to be idle. Nemesis grows closer by the day, and so much time has been wasted already. Oh, they rotate? Oh, that's fun. Okay, that's good because honestly, sometimes my brain tends to like think of it like one of those like multiple choice tests where I'm like, I've circled C for the last 5 questions. Is it really C this time? And I start to doubt myself and like spiral. And I guess I'm doing that same anxiety thing that I do with like multiple choice tests, where even though in my brain I know that I'm smart and I know what the right answer is, but I'll be like, I made this same answer choice for 3 different questions earlier, even though they're different questions. I've done 4 C's. Is there a 5th C? Is this a trick? Which I know that's not what's happening with the game, but like it's just me and my brain, and I'm sure, maybe this happens to other people. But I do appreciate the explanation. That does make me feel better. Thank you. If they're not able to leave, okay. So I read this part, and so much time has been wasted already. Like she's pouting. Honestly, I don't think Aloy's ever started a like a bar brawl. But it'd be fun to see her start a like a tavern brawl. We never had. I don't think we've ever had a fight happen in a bar. At least not to my knowledge or my memory. I don't remember. Where is this guy? I don't feel like waiting all night. You know, you could just enjoy the chance to relax for a minute. I know it's not a favorite pastime of yours, but it's good for you. I'll relax and stop trying to. Bleh. I'll relax and stuff stops trying. Okay, we're gonna start again. We're gonna slow down. I'll relax when stuff stops trying to kill me and my friends. Erend? Is that Erend Freebooter? Out here in the middle of nowhere? Erend and Aloy turn towards the voice to see a large, handsome man with warm brown skin and even warmer brown eyes. Erend hesitates for a minute, clearly caught off guard by the stranger's presence. Aloy notices his face has gone a little pink as the man claps him on the shoulder. Wait. Wait a second. Wait a second. Because I started thinking it as I was reading it, like his face, but now seeing it like definitely confirms it. And also, he's very handsome. I love this design. He looks really great. His name is Silgund. Okay, but is this an old flame of Erend's? Really? I love fan games. I love fan shit. I love fan art. I love everything. This is so great. This is actually one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I don't know why I'm so happy over this, but the thought of Erend having an old flame or an old crush. Erend, you gay bastard, I love you. No, then that means that Erend and Aloy are now essentially Walla Walla. Like, and like WLW Walla MLM solidarity, and I love it. Bye for bye, or ban, either one. I'm a little biased. Oh, I'm so into that. Silgund? Wasn't expecting to run into you here. I thought you'd gone to seek your fortune in Mainspring. How long has it been? Aloy is surprised by how flustered Erend seems. Instinctively, she knows this must be someone he knows from Coppercrag, but she can't work out why he's acting so strangely. She doesn't think she's ever seen him so uncomfortable in a social situation. Far too long, you old rust bucket. You're right, I'm in Mainspring, but a wedding dragged me back out to this backwater. My wedding, as it happens. My intendant likes my ma for some reason, and he made me come out here to scoop her up so she can come to the celebration for next week. Oh, you're getting married? No! That's... Poor Erend. He's like, oh, no, is this guy your ex? It's not, like, I know I just said old flame, but, like, old flame can mean anything from, like, a crush to, like, an ex, but now it's, like, confirmed this is, well, it's not confirmed, but it also just, oh, poor Erend. Like, is he your ex? Because that's even worse, because he's here because he's getting married, and you're like, my ex in front of me and my crush that I've kind of had to, like, I've kind of, like, accepted that it might not anything happen, but now, wow, poor Erend. Silgan gives him a sheepish smile, dropping his eyes to his feet when he sees the clear surprise on Erend's face. And that's all it takes for Aloy to feel certain that there was something a little more than platonic in their history. Now that she's experienced it for herself, it's easy to detect the telltale fluster that comes up with the romantic undertones between two people. I am, to a very good man, Felgren, most talented brewer you'll ever meet. If you make it up to Mainspring, you'll have to stop by our tavern for an ale. Hey, congratulations, Sil. I'm happy for you. Thanks, Erend. And what about you? Would you care to introduce your lovely companion? Ooh, getting mistaken for a couple? Erend's eyes go wide as he looks back over at Aloy, staring a bit as he scrambles to explain who she is. Taking pity on him, Aloy leans over to extend an arm towards Silgan, shaking his hand firmly. I'm Aloy. Pleased to meet you. Ah, yes, the savior of Meridian. Few tales of your victories have trickled up to the claim. You got a sharp look to you, Aloy. I get the feeling you two are partners in crime. The strained note in Silgan's voice, paired with the distant, foggy look in his eyes, brings a strange new tension to the conversation that Aloy can't help but pick up on. Erend seems aware of it too, and drops his eyes to his mug of ale. Ouch. We're definitely good at getting into trouble together, but we usually manage to get ourselves out of it too. Well, I'm glad Erend has someone like you in his corner. Aloy, listen, I wish I could stay and catch up, but I'm late for family dinner and have to head back to Mainspring at first light. Drop in on me if you're ever in town, though. Felgren and I would be glad to have you anytime. Oh my gosh. You know, I'm now remembering, I'm more than happy to be corrected, and I can be, and probably am wrong. But I think one of the first, like, same-sex relationships that we saw in the game was that one Ostrom. I mentioned the side quest earlier of the one priest who asked us to clear out certain locations in Meridian for mourners. There was an Ostrom, an Utaru, and a Banuk. that we cleared locations for. And I remember that Oseram that we cleared a location for, him and his relationship with the man who made the statue for the Mad Sun King. He was probably I think the first same-sex relationship I think that we ever encountered in the game. Like the first time. I don't remember if there was more, and I don't remember if there was someone before that. But I do remember that he was one of them. There might have been a woman loving woman relationship in the first game. I don't remember. But I do remember that the Oseram were the first to be like, hey, same-sex relationships are cool here. Because I don't think that much of that was ever seen much in Meridian. And the second game did have a lot more of it, but I do know there were other ones in the first game. Mostly in the side quests, but I feel it might be just me who found that one first. Because again, it is a side quest. Oh no, that's sad. Oh no. Wait, you're right, it was in one of the bunkers. It was in one of the bunkers. There also was a gay woman in one of the other bunkers. I don't remember if that was in Forbidden West or the first game, but there was also a woman in the first game in the bunker who was like mourning the fact that she couldn't, because she was in the bunker and the girlfriend, like the person she was in love with, was somewhere else, and she was reminiscing about it. Yeah, that's old world. Like, I was thinking about like in Horizon World, but the old world was like different. But you know what? That actually jogged my memory, and I was like, was the Oseram the first one that we met in the new like world, or was it just the old world stuff? Or, but no. Like, okay, there was multiple, and then Forbidden West then gave us the pride flag and with the aesthetic stuff, the painting stuff that you put on Ailey's face, the makeup. I don't know. I just love it. It's great. I'm just remembering things. Um, I appreciate that like Horizon's always just been casually just like LGBTQ, and then they went and made Aloy like canonically like gay. So that's always also something that I've always just deeply enjoyed about Horizon. Because I don't think a lot of games just casually do that unless it's like, oh, you can just have multiple romantic options. Which multiple having multiple romantic options has always been fun, sure, but it's not. But like, I think it's always kind of, to some degree, I think it's funner when it's a single romance or like a more main romance that is deliberately gay, because there's more intention in it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Even though I still love having multiple different romances that you can have, like Baldur's Gate. Come on, I can just romance anyone and it's perfectly fine. And I know some people. I never played Dragon Age, but I know some people were like upset about. Well, not upset, but they had some criticism to be said about Cassandra. Right? The one I forget who she is, but like what her role is. But she looks like a stereotypical lesbian, is what people said, but she is actually very much a straight woman. I remember people being like upset because they said, because the creators were like, oh yeah, well we felt like she would be a stereotypical lesbian, so we made her straight, you know, because we didn't want to lean into stereotypes. But thing is, the issue with that is that there's very little representation of like butch lesbian women. So there's always like that thing. So like, I don't think there's a bad thing to be having like hard lines in terms of characterization for a character. I just saw a Tumblr post on this too, that someone was like, if you're gonna have a hard line about someone being straight in a game, like why don't we just do it where if there are gay options and we just hard nope out of them, and just so it makes more sense for why, like instead of making it like a sunk cost thing, just make it seem like, oh, this character does find out that they're gay, and then they just have a total fucking go just nope out of it because they're like, oh shit, I might be gay. No, I'm totally backing out of this. I'm sorry. Is Petra gay? I don't know if it was ever super confirmed that Petra was gay. I mean, she's definitely butch, in my opinion. I think she is. Was it confirmed though? She does flirt with her. She does flirt with her hard, but in my opinion, I feel like Talana kind of had a similar energy with Aloy, but that just might be me reading into things. Maybe I'm just clueless. I'm fully clueless. I probably shit. I'm one of those stereotypical like gay women who just doesn't realize a woman's hitting on me. I think that's what happened. I mean, I remember being blushy about it, but I remember thinking to myself, "No, I'm reading into this, aren't I? Oh my god, I'm stupid." Oh, and I really do need to go back and like I'm replaying, so I'll eventually get to like Petra. I need to find Petra. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Thank you for that. Clearly, my memory needs jogging. It clearly needs jogging. Either that, or I just very much did that thing where I was like, "Oh, she just means it friendly." Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad Aaron has someone like you in his corner. Hey, listen, I wish I could stay and catch up, but I'm late for family dinner and have to head back to Mainspring at first light. Drop in on me if you're ever in town, though. Felgren and I would be glad to have you anytime. It's funny to me that the Ostrom has had the majority of gay people then. Because I know there's other gay characters, but like. Now I just kind of want to go through the game and find how many gay people are there total. And also just like measure it by tribe as well. Because I just want to, because I just out of curiosity. You know what I mean? I should go check that. I wonder if someone else has done it. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Pedra actually alludes to things, and if she did, because I remember being so excited about the Ostrom that I met in Meridian, and I remember being kind of like, thing is the bunker lady who was like reminiscing about the girl. I fully didn't understand that that was a gay relationship the first time I played it because, like I said, the first time I played the game, I rushed through it because I was on borrowed time with it. They have a legal social category for it. Oh my gosh! Why is this game so detailed? I love it so much. Wow! You can't see me right now, but I'm shaking my table a little bit. Oh my gosh, that's crazy! I didn't know that. This game is so good. I need to replay it a lot more. If they actually have the most for it, because I know that one of the are the navigators together, the two navigators, and I know Alva has a girlfriend as well. Um, I don't know if the Tanakh had anyone. Oh yeah, that's true. Like I do realize that a lot of like the tribes don't really like. Yeah, because I like yeah. What was one of the first side quests in the Nora lands? There was the girl looking for her mom's like spear, and he's like, "Oh, can you find my daughter?" My, I don't think he ever called her his wife. He said his partner, something like that. I literally just replayed this not too long ago. Oh, that's fun. I did wonder, and I don't know if wondered it in a previous stream or in a different stream. Yeah, that's a Nora term. But I don't know if I remember I really if I speculated about this in a different stream. And I don't think it was in the play in this playthrough. I think I was in the actual game where I was wondering whether like how what the marriage ceremonies were for other tribes if there were any because that was never like a focus of the game and I don't think we ever saw it. I know that people had partners or like life partners or something like that. Yes, there we go. Because I don't think a lot of them have, like, yeah, they don't have any concept of marriage. They just kind of get together, and people just kind of stick together. You know what? One thing I feel like we haven't seen yet is like, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we've seen any examples of poly relationships in the game yet, and I don't know if they've implied any, but I don't know if there's been anything like that. hmm. The abrupt farewell catches Aloy by surprise, and she's more sure than ever that something happened between the two men. Sylgan reaches out to shake both of their hands before turning to push his way towards the door. Actually, the game, I kind of like. Which is why you have it in the game. Which is why this game and Sylgan like mentions it, which is really fun. I like that. You know what I really want to see is like an actual example of a marriage ceremony in one of the different tribes. The Nora don't have it. Yeah, the quiet like the Karja definitely is like yeah implied to have it for sure. Like they definitely have a very nuclear family type. The Karja do. Then the Quen I think is implied to also have something similar. Um, I'm not sure, but like oh my gosh, that's so cool. Again, your knowledge is I bow to you in your amount of knowledge. I'm sure you probably needed to research a lot of this and know a lot about this just to make this game. Which again, it's so very well made. And I very much like it. Oh my gosh, these two I've been talking over this uncomfortable moment for these two, but they all obviously both look very uncomfortable. Aaron's like, if we could just maybe not talk about what just happened. Aloy turns her gaze back to Erend, who looks a bit lost. She's hesitant to press him, but curiosity gets the better of her. That wasn't just a friend, was it? Oh, well, no. He was a freebooter with Ursa and I back in the day. We all know Aloy's not that afraid to press a matter if she needs to, considering, like, with her and Talana in that one side quest, she was like, Talana, be honest. Are you into this guy? Like, I don't. She's not afraid to press the matter if she needs to, but I feel like in the first game she didn't press at all because she was definitely not focused on that. Together? For some reason, the word is hard for her to say. There's a twinge of something unpleasant in her abdomen, something she doesn't have a name for just yet. But there's something protected there too. A piece of her that wants to reassure him, that she wants him to trust her enough to confide in her. Not even sure if it lasted long enough to claim we were together, but yeah. If circumstances had been different, yeah. He seems uncharacteristically fragile for a moment, and Aloy can't help but feel similar. She wants to know about his past, about the things that made him who he is today, but the idea of knowing something so intimate about him is surprisingly scary. Ah! Honestly, I can't understand why it took me so long to play this game because this is so like I'm just so giddy, and I'm. What time is it now? Okay, we're already nearing 3 hours, so we've already hit another choice. So I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping things up here. Thank you all for watching, and thank you very much for your patience for the late start and everything. Um, I honestly think I should just start another series where I replay Forbidden West. I don't want to. I'm still playing Horizon Dawn. Like I said, I'm doing New Game Plus, so I'll probably stream me finishing through that. I can't promise I'll do it quickly because I will still get distracted by side quests. But I probably will replay New Forbidden West because I clearly don't remember all this information and clearly don't haven't seen it. But I'm going to go ahead and like replay it, if only so I can like absorb more of this world. I love open world games so much, and Horizon's one of those really good ones. Um, but yeah. This is but this fan game is so good. It's so good. It's so well detailed. Like, oh my god. I can't remember how much research I've done for like a fanfic before, but I know one time I researched the history of wine for several days for like a single moment of a character trying to sell wine to like a single like brothel in the city, which I never posted the fanfic because I didn't finish it. And also because I was just not satisfied with my wine research. But this is like amazing. The amount of art and time and research and just the coding too, just to make a game. So much fun, so much work, so cool. It's just admirable and like admirable. The amount of passion that goes into these things is just. I love humans. I love people. I love this. It's so much fun. Um, to the creators of the game, thank you again for making this. I will continue streaming it. It is so good and fun. I'm very excited and patient to keep going. But it has been 3 hours, and I do need to get up and and go do other things for the night. So, till next week, thank you so much for watching, and everyone have a wonderful, beautiful night. See ya!